Very funny what now we're finding out about maybe the jab or not, now that all the different outlets have started to rescind all of their harsh restrictions. It's just simply amazing what the institutions are allowed to disseminate out there. I'd imagine they probably found some other things as well. But again, the rapid onset of what do they like to call it? Sudden adult death syndrome has unfortunately revealed quite a few disturbing things. I could have done an entire week on the different things that they're finding out there, like metal bits being found and a bunch of people that are turning up dead mysteriously. Make sure to get your booster shots. They're safe and effective, right? But I think that this one's pretty disgusting. You see these, what do you got right there? Say 7 vials that are up there right at the front. That's being found inside people recently deceased by embalmers that are out there. So the Undertaker is out there pulling a whole bunch of would-be mealworms out of people. Fibrous clots is what they're being called. And we're going to take a look at this because I find this personally disturbing and another really good reaffirmation that I made the right decision when it comes to my own personal health. Embalmers have been finding numerous long, fibrous clots that lack post-mortem characteristics. Oh, great. So they're continuing to live on after the host has perished? Great. Several embalmers across the country have been observing many large and sometimes very long fibrous and rubbery clots inside corpses they treat and are speaking out about their findings. Numerous embalmers from different states confirmed to the Epoch Times that they have been seeing these strange clots starting from either 2020 or 2021. Weird. It's not yet known if the cause of the new clot phenomenon is COVID-19, vaccines, both, or something different. Put me down for at least 2 of those. Epoch Times received additional videos and photos of anomalous clots, but could not upload them due to the level of gore. Thank you. That already just kind of makes my stomach turn a bit. Mike Adams. Mike! What do you got there, Mike? Who runs an ISO 17025 accredited lab in Texas. Analyzed clots in August and found them lacking iron, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. Lacking all of that. So what the hell are they? Adams' lab uses inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry, ICP-MS. Thank you for having a handy acronym. Triple quadruple mass spectrometer. Sounds like a figure skating move. And liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, usually testing food and food for metals, pesticides, and glyphosate. Interesting. So what did you come up with? Because I'm baffled by this. Not really, but I just want to know what the hell it is. We have tested one of the clots from embalmer Richard Hirschmann via ICP-MS. He also tested side-by-side live human blood from an unvaccinated person. Okay, he found that the clots are lacking key elements present in healthy human blood, such as iron, potassium, and magnesium, suggesting that they are formed from something other than blood. Okay. I've got a theory. We'll see if they touch on this, but I might just mention it right at the end. Adams is joining analytic forces with more doctors and plan to invest out of their own pocket and equipment in order to further determine their composition and probable causation. String-like structures differ in size, but the longest can be as long as a human leg. Whoa! And thickest can be as thick as a pinky finger? Like, I got pretty long piano playing fingers, okay? That's why I gotta wear like a XXX glove, ladies. And even still, the diameter, okay? The circumference of my pinky finger, to think about that is pretty goddamn disturbing, because that's, what, like 10, 15, 20 times the diameter of any large vein that you would find. I'm just going to throw my idea out there because they don't know exactly what it is. But here's the theory, of course, and they can go ahead and check this hypothesis once they require or create the technology needed in order to figure this stuff out. I would imagine it's probably the jab in some form or fashion not being able to make it to the places that it needs to, because it is technology that's not exactly the most well-researched that's out there, the mRNA stuff, okay? So because it's not human, okay, at least it's not exhibiting any of the humanistic characteristics, trying to form something in there and then it just ends up giving up halfway through because it doesn't have all the nutrients that it needs in order to manifest that way. That's just my theory on that. And listen, this is just what they're finding right now during, with people who have already died. So Lord only knows what they're going to find out later down the line, or somebody's going to end up, have flop out after a night of Taco Bell. Richard Hirschmann, a licensed funeral director and embalmer in Alabama, recalled that he has been in the trade since the tragedy of 9/11. Oh man, if those people in 9/11 had those fibrous strands, they might have been able to make out like Spider-Man. But anyways, prior to 2020, 2021, oh my, maybe this is the gestation of a real-life human Spider-Man, just having these fibrous growths that just come out of people's orifices. Fucking, that would be weird. Probably would see somebody, somewhere between 5 to 10% of the bodies that we would embalm having blood clots, Hirschmann told the Epoch Times. We are familiar that what blood clots are, and we've had to deal with them over time. He says that now 50 to 70% of the bodies he sees have clots. Sorry, what? 5 to 10% is regular. Now he's seeing between 50 and 70. Oh, okay. For me to embalm a body without any clots, kind of like how it was in the day prior to all this stuff, it's rare. The exception is to embalm a body without clots. Holy. So they have everything charted out, okay? What is in these fibrous strands that these embalmers are finding, these morticians? Magnesium, just a trace amount. Potassium, wow, that's from 1893 in regular human blood, unvaccinated human blood. You get 12.5 parts per million. That's... everything is just a real step down, okay? The only thing that is up is sodium, okay? That would totally makes sense. Carbon's up a little bit, a negligible amount, but everything else. And then phosphorus. Phosphorus is just wildly off the scale. Phosphorus and tin? Oh. Mostly made up of phosphorus, tin, and a little bit of carbon over top of regular human blood. Interesting. Very interesting. Notice the key elemental markers in human blood, such as iron, are missing in the clot, which is just 4.4% of blood. Similar story with magnesium, potassium, and zinc. All of these are clear markers for human blood. Live human blood will always have high iron, and the person would be dead. These clots have almost no iron, magnesium, etc. Wade Hamilton, a cardiologist who is familiar with clots, told the Times, the fact that the magnesium, potassium, and iron are very low in the samples could suggest that they are not usual post-mortem clots, that in fact there were no blood flows in these vessels. Oh great, so just obstructions in a human body. Adorable. These structures raise, but do not totally answer some interesting questions. The combination of low electrolytes and the novel, very strong string-like structures suggests that there are areas where the string-like structures are seen in the blood vessels did not receive circulation. They are not normal post-mortem findings, according to experienced embalmers bent on obtaining total body vascular access from one site, which because of the unusual clots, they are unable to do so. They are not normal post-mortem clots, yeah, no, we've already been over this, but rather very long. Tiny strings may have been etiological in their death, preventing circulation to those regions. Interesting. Others have shown that the spike protein can and does unfold in forms of different configurations. There it is, contributing to the tight string-like bonded structures with a longitudinal twisting as well as cross-binding. Oh, it's almost like it's trying to create DNA. Like we've also seen recent studies say that the way that the jab manifests in the liver is trying to create human DNA. Interesting. It takes, 254 million angstroms to make an inch. A typical capillary is around 5 microns, so the strings needed are needed to occlude a vessel. The embalming process has become much more difficult too, causing some embalmers to need to drain the blood via multiple points instead of a single spot. Wow. All right, let's try to answer a question that's on everybody's mind when it comes to this one. Vaccination status. Hirschmann was not able to talk to the families, but have diligently trying to confirm if the bodies of the people with the clots had been vaccinated. The funeral house sometimes knows the vaccination status of the deceased person and tells him. Sometimes it may also be that the person got vaccinated and did not tell the family. Oh no, if it's a very big pro-vaxxer, they've definitely got all the stickers, all the buttons, and have told and proselytized everybody, so it wouldn't be much of a secret. I had a 49-year-old who's totally healthy, getting ready for work, collapses dead. No, sudden adult death syndrome, nothing to see here. Next thing you know, I'm embalming him. And guess what I'm pulling out of him? The same stuff. Same stuff. He was totally fine, totally healthy. Shocked everybody. Find out, oh yeah, not only was he vaccinated, he was boosted. Hirschmann recalled. Interesting, but that's just an anecdote. Remember, guys, safe and effective. He also stated that he found the same stuff in a man who had a stroke while sleeping and who died of cancer. So yeah, not saying that the stroke wouldn't have got him or the cancer wouldn't have, but not necessarily saying that this would help. Unless, of course, it cuts off the blood flow to the tumor, then that would just be one of the most handy little tips and tools to have in your body. I spoke with an embalmer in Louisiana, and she said the same thing. Sometimes they're not huge. Other varieties of anomalies, some of them were small. Sometimes they were little specks, like little pieces of sand or coffee grounds. Interesting. I wonder if it has anything to do with the type of vaccine that they're getting. Or rather, the brand, I guess. Oh, remember when they were trying to give cute little names to the vaccine? Yeah, that didn't stick now, did it? Spikevax. Stupid. Hirschmann annotated the details of the bodies he had embalmed in the last few years. 2018, a total of 410 bodies. Pretty standard stuff that he's seeing. We'll just go ahead to where everything starts to really take off. 2020, that's when everything really starts to peak up. And even during the fourth quarter of 2019, 167 people experienced this phenomenon. And then in 2020, then you start to get everybody except for quarter two, which is odd. I guess nobody was dying in the spring or the summer. Would that have been the summer? All right, that's when everything dropped. But then everybody started to ramp up again because this is really serious, whatever. And then 2021, yeah, that's where everything gets buck wild. But again, everything just kind of dropped. I guess second quarter is just slow death season for Morticians, even in 2022 when things just go completely off the rails. But 2021 is real bad. First quarter, terrible. Remember, when did the vaccine come out? Right at the end of 2020? Funny. Anyways, in the fourth quarter, 179. And specifically November, 9 out of the 19 were clotted. And in December, 19 of the 40 were clotted. So again, just kind of filling out that 60 or 40 to 60% of people with their clots in them. Weird. And then 2020 so far, 146, 90, 128 for a grand total of 364 right now. So yeah, just to touch on the possible explanations from the experts. Okay, very large blood clots that are being removed before and after death are unlike anything we have ever seen in medicine. Dr. James Thorpe, a maternal fetal medicine expert who has been observing abnormalities in pregnant women and fetuses. Ew, that's not good. COVID vaccines divert energy away from the physiological process in the body towards the production of the toxic spike protein, Thorpe said. This directs energy away from the normal process of internal digestion, also known as autophagy. This results in the protein misfolding and propagation of large intravascular blood clots, and also a variety of related diseases, including prion disease, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, amyloiditis, and dementias, including Alzheimer's and others. Oh, great. Well, it is possible that the COOF illness itself could potentially contribute to these diseases. It is unlikely, and if so, the effect of the vaccine would be 100 to 1,000-fold greater than that of the COVID-19 disease. Yeah, so I didn't know about any of that stuff to begin with. We just figured that out in real time, but looks like my hypothesis seems to correlate with that of the experts. So again, maybe I just might be a conspiracy theorist, or maybe your boy might be onto something. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.